I say to people, you don't realize your mortgage is at 3%. We have 500,000 cash to invest. I'm like, great, let's take 250, put in some mortgage, you invest 250 for minimum 8 to 12% return, and then the rest is on a mortgage for maybe 3 to 4%. You're still making 4% on your money. And then we'll
Wow.
rent it to cover your mortgage. You're then on the ladder. Property prices went up 13% in January in Portugal.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches podcast. And today I have my buddy, Leesa Booyzen, who I'm excited to have on here because she's in Portugal, one of my favorite countries. And we're going to start talking about how I'm a connector, she's a connector, and how you can start thinking, be a connector yourself, right? Hey girl.
Hey, long time no see.
I know, just last month, right?
It's like, where were you? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
kickoff. January.
Oh my God.
January, 2 months
Oh, it's
ago.
January. Gosh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hopefully we'll see you in Paris.
Paris coming up. Yeah, airfare. Oof, a little
I
scary
know.
over there. But I'm working on that. I may be finding a place to stay at the last minute, but we'll see. That's a mission today. So anyway, the reason I wanted to have you on is yesterday I did an article in LinkedIn, and it was all about how realtors, financial planners, CPAs, people who are dealing with high net worth clients who are not necessarily talking to their existing clients about purchasing properties in other countries because it's not on their radar to talk about it. And it's, as a result, not on the client's radar to even think of them as a source. And here we are, you and me, as connectors where we can help. And I said, I'm a connector in 29 countries, so I can help you. And it's a bigger deal than you go on vacation, fall in love with, let's say, the Algarve, and say, oh, and I want to buy a house here. We need to start talking almost before that. You may fall in love, but don't be thinking you're just going to jump into buying the property. There's a whole lot involved. And that's why I wanted to have you involved. Now, you run a team. Tell us about your team.
Yeah, so basically from South Africa. And having moved and lived in various countries, I came to Portugal from UK, then Ireland, then Portugal. So I understand the stress of moving. And from my background in the movie industry with logistics of setting up a new business, every time you do a movie, it's literally creating something. So I came to Portugal. Of course, all my Portuguese friends don't know anything about the NIF numbers or where to go because they're locals. Had to figure all that out and just started helping expats figure out relocating. Then, out of necessity with my real estate with EXP, I had a lot of foreigners coming from the US and going, okay, we want to do real estate in Portugal, and then realizing it's very different.
Very.
So we're the expat team. So we have our assistant that sports team. We cover the whole of Portugal. But because we've all made the move, we do the whole relocation. So we do the visas, we do the NIFs, we have a mortgage broker. Very exciting. We found a new mortgage broker now that deals with American banks as well. So we had a client rejected twice by Portuguese banks because she's on a contract basis. And we contacted this new brokerage that we're working with. They said, don't worry, we deal with American system, and they've now been approved for a mortgage. So
Ooh,
we go above and beyond. It's like there has to be a way.
yes. Yeah, we're not
So we
quitting.
work exactly. I come from the movie industry where it's like there is no such thing as no. It will happen. You just
Yeah,
have to figure out how.
that's
So
it.
with that, we have the currency exchange as Claire. She saved one of the clients $18,000 because she locked in the price, the exchange rate.
That's
And
a
that's
big deal. And it's all those little nuances. Like you just said something like an NFT or something. What were those initials?
so when you come to Portugal, you have to get your NIF number, which is your Portuguese tax number. You cannot do anything without that. It's
You
you
can't even
can't.
go to the grocery store without it.
You can, but you can't open a bank account, you can't buy a
Oh,
property, you can't rent a property. So it's actually quite a good system. Everything is linked to your Portuguese tax number. So that means if someone's selling a house and they have debt, it's attached to their NIF and they cannot sell the house because that debt is attached to the house. So it's quite a good system if you work with people that understand the system,
Right.
can do all these checks that you're not inheriting anything. So your Portuguese tax number is number one. So we have,
How long does that take then?
it depends who you're working with. We work with 2 or 3 different people. One of our lawyers does the whole visa process and the NIF number. It takes 2 to 3 days to get.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, sometimes it can take up to 3 weeks depending on the backlog with finances. Like over COVID was a bit of a nightmare, but I think everyone struggled. But that's another thing a lot of foreigners don't realize, they can buy in Portugal without being here. I've
Oh,
had four people that have bought properties, they've never been to Portugal.
how does that happen? What, they just had money to spare and they said, I'll just buy this property?
They were looking for investments.
Yes.
So what we did is our lawyer became the power of attorney,
Mm,
got their Portuguese tax number, bought the property on their behalf, so signed for them, they got the deed, got the mortgages approved, so everything got done online, and we're renting it out to cover their mortgage.
holy cow. So you do the property management piece as well.
Yeah,
Wow.
because I say to people, you don't realize your mortgage is at 3%.
Yes.
So when someone comes to me and goes, we have 500,000 cash to invest, I'm like, great, let's take 250, put in some mortgage, you invest 250 for minimum 8 to 12% return, and then the rest is on a mortgage for maybe 3 to 4%. You're still making 4% on your money, and then we'll
Wow.
rent it to cover your mortgage. You're then on the ladder. Property prices went up 13% in January in Portugal.
Wow, that's high.
So when people go, we'll wait, I'm like, everyone that said that 5 years ago lost the chance.
Yeah. Yes.
But
Oh,
we
wow.
can still find those gems.
Wow. What about like a situation like that? So that's an empty house. Do you help them with a designer? A decorator comes in and does, of course they're paying for all of that, but you can coordinate it all.
So I've just sold to a UK couple. There's like a 2-bedroom annex that they want to rent out that didn't have a kitchen. So I've got quotes from local companies, from builders. We've looked at Leroy Merlin, which is like our local DIY store,
Hmm.
like your home base, and IKEA. So we're comparing. So I said, look, Leroy's got a big sale at the moment. It's just for rental. So we're getting it designed out. I will coordinate with Leroy to get it put in.
A
And
kitchen,
then
you're
the
saying?
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Plumbing,
And
all that.
I think it's going to be about 2,000 euro total. People
Jaw drop.
underestimate. I know. I had clients going, "Oh, but this is going to cost 100,000." I'm like, it's bathrooms. I just did mine for 5,000, and they were like, "What?"
Yeah. Wow.
But that again is knowing the local market,
Mm,
because we can get a company that's going to see you coming and they're going to double the price and they're going to take as long as possible. But that's again not knowing the local market.
right.
So because we cover the whole of Portugal, like I have my agents in Porto that know it backwards. So I would send my clients up there. The same with the Algarve, the same with Lisbon. But that's where we start working as a team. And we found a listing in Porto, for example, a 2-bedroom apartment. We went one road back. We got the apartment for 175,000, newly renovated. 6 months later, it's now worth 300,000 because they've
Wow.
started renovating the area.
Yeah.
And I said to them, you don't understand, it's up and coming. You need to get in now. Luckily, they
Yeah.
trusted us. And within 6 months, they've now built around the corner, and 2 bedrooms are going for 310,000.
Oh man, man, oh man. Now here's the thing that's confusing when you talk apartment, because I've heard it a lot in
Oh,
our,
yeah.
because for us that's a rental. It's, you don't buy apartments, you buy
So
condos.
here, exactly. So we don't really have the term condo.
Mm,
It's apartment or a flat, which is, it's in the building. So that building is mixed. It's either owned or rented. So we don't have distinguishing things like,
okay. Okay, good. That helped me because I'm
and you
thinking,
own it outright. Yeah.
yeah, because I kept thinking, boy, all you're doing is rentals. I don't think that's a good, but then you say the price and I go, nothing makes sense here. And that's the point. That's why I wanted to do videos like this for Americans to understand different concepts, how important it is, because also, aren't there a lot of non-licensed agents running around Portugal? Yeah.
Yeah, because you can work. So in Portugal, we have what we call an AMI license. That's the license of the brokerage. But anyone can sign up today and start working tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what that means is you've got a lot of agents coming from car sales or from a grocery store thinking they want to be. So we have a joke that everybody's an agent. But for example, I had a client come in, I can't remember what country it wasn't, it was one of the off the beaten tracks. And we told her, do not sign anything, don't pay a holding deposit, don't do anything without talking to us. So she found this rental online. She's, oh, but it's stunning. I'm like, don't do anything. So she paid a €2,000 holding deposit because someone told her there's a lot of interest. She paid the deposit and the article went offline. She couldn't find the person, the number got blocked. And I said to her, we told you. She said, oh, but it looked so pretty. And I was like,
Yeah.
they see you coming a mile. And
Yeah.
it looked like a listing. It was on our listing portals. But that's where it happens in every country.
Every country, there's scams.
Scams, exactly. Whereas as an agent, we contact them and go, we need the paperwork.
Yeah.
And if they won't, as an outsider, they don't have to give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
But with us, then you get the truth.
Yes.
But okay, so it's not a real property. Okay.
Yeah. Now, you've been with EXP, what, 4 or 5 years?
Yes, actually, this is the 6th year. So I
Oh,
joined 2020, December 2020 when we launched.
yep.
And then we went into COVID.
Yeah. Ah,
Perfect timing.
yeah.
Remember that, the worst 10 years of my life.
But you've been
But
here 10 years. Have you always done real estate in Portugal?
so when I came to Portugal, so a bit of a jack of all trades,
I know.
but came to Portugal and was like, okay, let's figure out life. I don't speak Portuguese. So I started teaching English online, hated every minute of it. And then someone in Lisbon, actually, because I'm in central Portugal, saw me helping foreigners come into Portugal. And they were like, have you ever thought of real estate? So I'm like, sure. I got half an hour training.
Ooh,
It was fun. Literally, they came and met me and they said, these are the documents. Good luck. And I went, what? They went back to Lisbon, which is 2.5 hours away. And I figured it out. I then joined another brokerage. And of course, when EXP came, I was like, wow, I can have international networks. I can
yeah.
literally work between all these countries and connect with like-minded and proper professionals with the support of a global company. So it was just, for me, it was a no-brainer. When I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, I can build my own business the way I want to and work with agents I want to work
Yeah.
with.
And it just allows us to be connectors for a lot of people. Like you were just talking about someone in Spain called you up. Tell that story.
Yeah, and that's the thing with LinkedIn. So you and I are both connecting with agents. So an agent connected with me. He's, I see you say you work in different countries. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm in Spain. I actually have a client looking in Portugal. So I said, okay, send him a few options. And he goes, can you help me in France? And I was like, I can. And he goes, can you help me in Italy? I went, yes. And he went, okay, you're my go-to agent now.
Yeah.
Because that's the great thing is we literally can tap into our network and go, we're working with these agents. We have our partners and we have the product.
Yeah, and it's an internal system that is unlike anything else. I've run into a lot of agents who'll say, I can help people in all those countries. My company's over there. I said, is your company over there or is it another franchise that's over there? Do you have an internal system? No. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not based on necessarily collaboration. It's a whole, like the woman said to me the other day, I was interviewing on the podcast, she goes, you're an EXP evangelist. I said, I am. I said, it's changed my life. And
Yeah.
this is my fifth firm that I've been with because I was always searching for the missing piece. And the missing piece primarily was collaboration, but
Yes.
also training and tools. And we are so fortunate that as a tech company, we're on the we're on the leading edge because we are doing things that people, even during COVID, here we were, a meta company, cloud-based company, and
I had my first sale during COVID, like a big one.
me too.
Again, with a client that had never been here.
That's what I mean, because we had the platform to be able to go and do it all. I even started my own, basically a podcast thing back then. I said, if we're all sitting in the house, you're going to be bored with TV. I said, I'm going to talk about what's happened in real estate during COVID. How do we get these
Perfect.
houses sold? How do we get the
Yeah.
inspectors in? What's the mortgage rate? How do we feel safe? And we still got to move. We still, because a lot of people were mid-transaction. How do we get this going? And so I think EXP just made us so far ahead of everybody right from the get-go, and COVID proved it. And
But just back to your referral platform, I was talking to an agent earlier who was like, not interested in EXP. I can refer clients anywhere. And I said, perfect. And I said, so how are you guaranteed that agent's not going to take your client? And I said, and if they do the sale, how do you invoice? And they were like, what do you mean? I said, who pays the tax? Is your company going to invoice on your behalf? So when he was like, no one did, I said, I did a sale for a client in the US. Gave the listing to another agent. They sold it in the US. I invoiced Portugal for my 25%. I didn't have to worry, how is the tax working? We had our contract signed. I didn't have to worry, how do I know if the sale's gone through? It's contracted with EXP. So the brokers knew. And it wasn't like, oh, what's exchange rate? What's the tax going to be? How does it implicate me there and here?
right.
And they were like, oh, yeah, no, we can't do that.
And there was even a double taxation. If you didn't know about a form that you needed to sign, you're going to get a double taxation because it wasn't really internally in the same company.
Exactly. Whereas I just invoiced Portugal. I didn't even have to, because they're one company, they figured it out with the
Yeah.
US to pay into their bank account somewhere. I don't need to know.
And remember when I had a client and I said, Leesa, these guys are interesting and they're interested in a million plus. I don't know where they were thinking Lisbon, but she had
Yeah.
bad knees. And I was saying, I don't think Lisbon's the spot for you just because I've been there and walked some of those friggin' hills. And it's the going up is one thing, the going down is another as well. And if you got a bad knee, I don't know that's necessarily the town. However, and that's when you were educating me on there's different styles all around the country. And I saw JM, our country leader today, was interviewed by one of our fellow EXP agents, and she was saying the different parts of the country he was breaking down, like Porto's for the young professional, Lisbon is for somebody else, all the different, because that was great clarity to hear the different areas of the country of why it's going to appeal, like the surfer region where it's all the beach and all that, the Algarve where it's a higher end price point and it's beach and it's stunning and all of it's stunning as far as I'm concerned.
And then I'm in Central, that has won the best retirement destination 8 years in a row because of
Yes.
value for money and quality of life. So it's overlooked because people think, but they forget Central is from the Silver Coast, which is just up from Lisbon to Porto
Oh,
to the Spanish border. That's the whole central mark. So it's in between Porto and Lisbon.
oh,
That's considered central Portugal. It goes from beach to country to, we've got Coimbra, which is a bigger city, and then you've got Leiria. So you've got cities in between, but people don't realize. And I go to Coimbra, park my car for free, and I jump on a train that takes me an hour 49 to Lisbon, for
wow.
example, or a bus that cost me €6 to go, which is a lot cheaper than the toll roads.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That
Sylvia and I went to a concert and it literally was €6 each. I'm like, really?
yeah, I know. It's pretty
That's like
mind-blowing
a
over here.
coffee for you guys.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly right. I was just thinking about that. Wow. Wow. I think it's so important to talk to our financial planners, especially in the States or probably in all the countries, because now what I'm hearing from you is they're hearing you've got not just the States coming to buy in Portugal, all around Europe comes to buy in Portugal, right?
Yeah. We've got a
Yeah.
lot of Dutch that come in, French, Italian, because also when they change the tax in the different countries and put the prices up, the value for money was better in Portugal. But that also pushes the prices up.
Yeah.
But then you come to us where I go, I can tell you 2 regions that you should buy now. People didn't listen to me 5 years ago of other regions that are now being pushed out the market. But that's the thing, being on the ground in central Portugal, I know where the popular spots are. I know what's up and coming. And I know the areas where you can still get in very reasonably. And it's going to double in 5 years, the value of your property.
Wow.
And that's the difference between buying in a saturated market where you want to be in the most touristic spots. That's also fine, but you're going to pay the prices because everyone's come in and pushed it up.
So let's say you did that like in the Algarve where the prices are high and it's stunning, but maybe you don't want to live there. You want to do like your first guy we were talking about. You buy an investment property, you get it furnished and rented out, and now it's paying and it's appreciating as well, right?
But that's also a great thing. My team covers the whole of the Algarve. So they might come in and go, you know what? This is an up and coming area where you can still get something reasonable. If you go
Mm.
20 minutes inland and you want a country house, and that's the great thing with our team is we meet with the clients. I was literally in a meeting with a client the other day that wanted central Portugal. I was talking to him for probably 10 minutes and I'm like, okay, you need Porto. So I pulled Albie into the meeting. I said, can you join me quickly? He joined, they discussed everything. And he goes, yeah, that's the exact area I'm looking for. And Albie and I are going, yeah, we know. And that's the difference. We're not trying to sell you a home. We're trying to figure out where do you want to be?
Yeah, because
Because
that's such an important piece. And that's what
we
you were.
always go, the home's the last part. We
Yes.
start with what are your must-haves?
Yeah.
Because I always go, you've forgotten the most important part. What do you envision every day? What is your everyday life like and your community? If you don't want a car and you don't want to drive anyway, we're like, okay, now we're down to Porto and Lisbon because everywhere else you can get around with Ubers and that, you need transport to get around. The only metros are Lisbon and Porto. If someone goes, I want to walk out my door to a cafe every day, now we've in different areas again. If they want to be at the beach, what beach? Because 3/4 of Portugal is coastline. So they're like, oh yeah, we didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the fun part is we literally sit and we break it down for our clients and we go, okay, because I had a client come to me, they found their perfect product. They're like, it's so cheap, it's beautiful. And they showed me this property and I went, okay, so that's the top north corner near Spain. And you want to be close to grocery shops and everything and community. And they said, yeah. I said, this property, the nearest shop is an hour away.
Oh,
And they went, like you, oh. And I said, that's why we don't let you fall in love with the property. We need to find your community.
we
And
have
she's like,
land.
yeah, she's like, I don't want to be that remote. And we're like, we know.
And if you don't have boots on the ground, who knows it? And because your team is spread out all over the whole country, that's powerful.
Yeah. And we've all lived it. We've made the trip from the Netherlands, from South Africa, from the US, from the UK. So we are a legit expat team that's all made the move and they understand the cultures. We were going through the languages the other day that my team covers. It's phenomenal. So we're like, if you have a Russian speaker, we're like, we have someone that can help you. We have someone who speaks Hindi. We have,
See, all that is so essential because
yeah.
you're getting Portugal's attracting people from all over the world. So to have a portfolio of agents that speak all these different things, and I know that you do regular weekly meetings with the team, and we're discussing the properties and we're discussing strategies, all of that. So you're a powerful resource for me to be able to refer agents to because I know that they'll be taken care of. I just know it. And I'm hoping to get a lot more for you, girl.
I know. Let's do some business.
Yeah.
Speaking.
So, any other, I know that you've got different things that I've seen you create on LinkedIn, but I think they'd be great. Give some examples of some of the booklets that you've created.
So one of my most popular is that I actually get, we're going to start giving it out now where people sign up for our newsletter is moving to Portugal. So I
Mhm.
go through all the nuances of stupid things like how do we pay the toll roads?
Yeah.
What is the first step that we do? What are the different areas? Where are the different prices? How to get the banks? What is the public transport? How do I book a train? So we have the whole booklet that basically is welcome to Portugal.
Yeah.
And it gives you step by step what you need to do. But a lot of the questions we get asked is, where should I live?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, okay, we have to, because that could be anywhere. But that's where we start breaking it down. We go, what is your everyday life? Like, do you want to run on the beach every day? Because people also forget the whole of the Silver Coast, Lisbon, all the way down to the Algarve is the Atlantic. So
Oh,
I'm like, you get the cold sea breeze.
oh,
Only the Algarve at the bottom is the Mediterranean.
oh, I didn't know that. Don't get
But
my globe out.
but that's the thing when we talk to clients, we're like, you do get the chilly breeze because when they go, I want to be by the coast, I want to grow vegetables. I'm like, okay, so we need you half an hour in because the minute that sea breeze comes in, the cool breeze is going to kill everything. I just had a client now and they were like, oh, I'm like, but then you got Figueira that's up and coming where there's still countryside, but you're 10 minutes drive away. So now they've fallen in love with the area, but they wanted to be near Lisbon, which wasn't their price point. And then they went there and they went, it's a busy city. We don't want to be in a busy city. So now they want to be in the countryside, close to a big town that's up and coming. So we found them the perfect area. And they were like, we never heard of this area. I'm like, we know.
Yeah. That's it. That's why you need boots on the ground for you. And really going through all that, I think it isn't like a whole checklist that you do. It's really a relationship that you're building.
We're matching people to, and that I think that's why we always tease it. We say we're the matchmakers. We keep going until we find the property you fall in love with. But the community, the area,
Yeah.
that to me is, I've had clients come, this was my biggest joke. They came and I booked 1 or 2 viewings a day. And they were like, we've come to view properties. I'm like, I know, but how do you know where that property is if we're just doing one property after another? So
Right.
I always meet for a coffee in the area. We take a walk around, we go see the listing, we then go have lunch, show them the area. We then go to the next, and they're like, we've never had this before. And
Oh,
but straight off, the first 2 locations they hated, loved the
yeah.
house, did not like the community. And
Mhm.
I'm like, and this is why I needed to show you where you are.
Yeah.
So now a lot of clients were like, I'm like, calm down. We know what we're doing.
Yeah. I was just relating that when you said that. I was thinking, holy cow, when I first got in the business, I was working with all buyers and they would come in and be intent on buying a house over the weekend, which
Yeah.
I think is insane, but
Yeah.
that's not my agenda. I wanted to sell you the house. If you want to buy one this weekend, I want to be the one to sell it.
Yeah.
And so I sent them a bunch of homes because we have the MLS here in the States. So I
Yeah.
could power out all kinds. And I said, and go on Google Earth because I want you to look at the neighborhood and see how you like the neighborhood. Is it right next to something that you don't like? Blah, blah, blah. So I can get rid of those homes. One day I had 28 homes I showed this couple. I said, all right, we're power shopping. Here's your stack of all the homes and all the pictures, and here's your pen because you're going to write notes on every one because you're going to forget what you
But
saw.
that's different when they understand the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now if I tell you I live in Villanova de Poiares, you'd be
Couldn't
like,
even, couldn't even say it.
yeah, you're like, and I'm like, I'm 25 minutes from Coimbra. Where?
Yeah,
Where's your nearest shop? What do you do? Why are you there?
exactly. Yeah.
So it's different. Sometimes, of course, we have clients that they come in and they go, this is the area I want. This is what I'm looking for. Different situation. Then
Right.
we can arrange like 6 to 8 viewings. We're like, okay, this is what we're doing. I have your criteria. We're now going to find your property. A lot of our clients, though, are shopping.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to figure out where they want to be. It's a huge thing moving countries. I've done it 4 times. I know.
Yeah.
And you're moving your life and you're now trying to find your feet. So it's a lot more than that's why I always say we become the counselors because people go through grief when they
Sure.
actually leave their home. They're selling a home that they're grieving the country they're leaving. And now you're moving to a foreign, you need someone to lean on. So we're not there to power through it's like, how can we help you? What do you need? What's
Yeah.
your priority?
Slow and easy. Slow and
And
easy.
sometimes if you're an investor, it doesn't matter because then
Right.
we're just looking for ROIs and we're like, these are all the properties we recommend. We've gone with the top ROIs because then I'm like, then you can't be emotional about it if you want an ROI.
Right.
We're going to give you the top return on your investment.
And usually an investor's not emotional, they're just numbers. So
Exactly.
you also do all kinds of commercial. You do equestrian estates, you do hotels, you do lots
Yeah.
of things. Talk about that a little bit.
So this is, again, the fun part with the EXP. It gives you that opportunity where you realize you're not stuck in a box. You're not in this area and this is how you have to work. So I've had a few clients approach me asking for stuff and I'm like, I'll figure it out. I've got that development that I was approached with 600 hectares, which is
Meaning in,
1,487 acres.
wow.
By the lawyer that I work with connected me with the agent because I'm co-listing with another agent. He didn't know what to do with it. We have land. The sellers are selling land. So I created a project in my head, took it to the council, and the council was like, how do we get this done? But now this is where we're in that tricky situation because technically I'm selling land
Mm-hmm.
because the sellers are not interested in doing the project. But we have written approval saying once the project is submitted, the council is happy to approve it.
It's a
Like
big
they just
deal.
want this in their area. They're like, how can we help you make this
Yeah,
happen? In traffic, it's 40 minutes from Lisbon Airport. So it's a prime
nothing.
location,
Yes,
right?
nothing.
And when you look at the size of what you can do there, so I created a project that's about 410 million build out, 1.3 billion sell out. And you get about 100 million in grants because I have all the grants that you can benefit from the council as well. And that's the other thing a lot of people don't know coming in. We have tourist grants, we have eco grants, we have every grant you can think of. So I built something where it qualifies for all the different grants from the councils and from the government. So you get a lot of money coming back in as well as profit share.
So you and I have talked about this project for a couple years now, and it just keeps growing and getting prettier. And we salivate over it, especially the town salivates over it because of what we will bring to the area. And
Exactly.
and understanding that the seller says, forget that, just give me my money kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still there as an opportunity to do. So
Yes.
we have talked to different funding companies who are
Yes.
interested. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're a funding company, talk to us because the opportunity of what's already been approved that can go on this property is equestrian, it's living, tell us.
It's not an approved final project because whoever buys it has to submit the project.
Gotcha.
And I think that's where people are a bit fearful. But this again goes back to it's my reputation. I'm not going to sell a piece of land. You can do nothing on it. So, what you can do where you're covered is you can do a holding deposit. So, you do your 10% deposit on the 25 million, which is the land. You then get what we call a PIP. It's a pre approved project with the council. So you submit everything you want to do on the land, and the council agrees in writing to what you're saying. So they need to know, is it going to be 100 apartments? We need those numbers. But at the moment, it's just something I created in my head, and the council has, in theory, said yes. As a real estate agent, I cannot submit that project because I'm not the owner.
Right.
And also, I don't want to because I'm not selling it. The sellers are selling
Yeah.
it. So it's that catch-22 where I can make it happen, but I need someone to see the bigger vision and that is interested. But also, you're not paying out 410 because we can build the whole thing out in 3D and pre-sell everything before even breaking ground.
See, that's what I love
And I
about
have
you.
all those partners that can do it.
Yes. That's the piece. You got all the people to make it all happen. Just need the money. Show
I
us the
just need
money.
someone that wants to invest.
Yeah.
Any investors out there?
Yeah. And there are. They just need to be exposed to it. And that's the beauty of doing something like this. Here's the exposure. Reach
Yeah.
out. Let's make this happen. And because it's a waste not to do that because it's a part, especially that close to Lisbon. Are you kidding me?
And with my background, I've done all the figures coming in. So it also involves movie studios, as I said to you. I can get the next 7 movies from Lifetime committed to it because
Mm,
my background line producer. I just did a Lifetime movie here in Portugal in December, which was fun.
yeah.
But it's having those connections and understanding the industry, growing up in equestrian and working in the movie industry, understanding all the challenges,
Hmm.
and then working in the music side. So it cross-pollinates everything,
Yep.
where you're not now reliant on a luxury hotel to bring
Right.
guests.
Right.
You have all these different genres. So just by everything that's there, you're going to be fully equipped 80% of the year without even advertising.
Wow.
And that's just bringing the projects in the co-work spaces. Nothing exists like it in Europe, because I did my homework. I compared it to the whole of Europe.
Wow.
And Americans are coming out because of all the grants that we have in Portugal. But Portugal's losing the money because we don't have the facilities. So I
So
have everyone that wants to build it.
so those grants are a huge incentive.
Yeah.
Huge incentive. And people probably don't even think about them because no one's talking about it where a bigger audience is seeing it. So hopefully you are seeing this.
Because they do have grants like in Ireland, in UK, but then we don't have the weather challenges in Portugal because we
Mm,
actually have sunshine most of the time.
yes. I
So
know,
it's
it's lovely.
easier to go film outside.
Any suggestions or any tips you got here at the end to say, talk to Kathy, talk to Leesa about being a connector, because that's really what we are.
Yeah.
I hope to connect people from the States to you and your team because I know and I trust. I've met almost everybody on your team and I know the work ethic, I know the integrity, which is a big deal. And
Yeah.
and all going through one company, and that's EXP, because it is seamless to get all the paperwork going through and how agents get paid, things like that. Tips, anything?
I would say if you can think it, we can make it happen.
Yeah, she really can. I can just testify to that. All right, girl. I appreciate you being on here. It's been a joy. I've been wanting to have you on forever because we just got lots of stuff to do together. It's
We
powerful.
chat like this all the time. So
I
it's
know.
kind of like,
I said, I know. Let's just get on here and let's just
yeah,
brainstorm.
let's record our chats.
Yeah. It's been great. All right, everybody, that's a wrap for Real Estate Riches this time. Please subscribe if you haven't before. All kinds of information will be here for Leesa so you can get in touch with her. Be sure and mention my name if you do. That helps me. But she's awesome. And I'm a connector here in the States, so I'd love to help you get connected. If it's not in Portugal, it's in other places as well. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Leesa.
Thanks for having me, Kathy.
Let's book a strategy call and see how it would look in your eyes. And if you're thinking, man, I'd like to have a conversation with Kathy Byrnes, maybe I'd like to be part of this EXP company and see what it's all about. That sounds good to me. Let's book a strategy call and let's have a talk. No pressure, but man, it's worth a conversation. The link's in the description.